The paradox of Schrödinger's covenant. Let's talk about a philosophically revealing moment in the debate over the Abrahamic land promise. It boils down to this one simple request: define ethnic Israel. That question is powerful because many popular dispensationalist arguments rely on that term remaining emotionally intuitive, but analytically vague. The second you demand a precise definition, the narrative hits a wall. Think about it. DNA creates complications. Religious conversion creates complications. Secular Jews create complications. Atheistic Israelis create complications. Palestinian ancestral continuity creates complications. And covenant faith distinctions create huge complications. To be clear, this does not automatically disprove dispensationalism. That's a separate discussion. But it does undermine simplistic slogans like "God gave the land to the Jews, period." Because the moment difficult questions arise, the criteria for the covenant suddenly begin to shift. I call this Schrödinger's covenant. If you've never heard of Schrödinger's cat, it's a physics thought experiment about a cat in a box considered both alive and dead at the same time, until someone opens the box and forces reality to choose. In this quantum state of debate, the Abrahamic Covenant is treated as simultaneously biological and theological. But it only collapses into one side when a critic asks a hard question. Here is how this covenantal pivot works. First, the secularism observation. The critique: modern Israel is largely secular, with laws that contradict Mosaic law. How is this a holy mandate? Boom! The wave function collapses into the unconditional biological state. The pivot. The promise is Abrahamic, not Mosaic. It's a birthright based on lineage, not a lease based on behavior. Then comes step 2, the DNA observation. The critique. Palestinians also show substantial ancestral continuity with the ancient Levant. If the promise is biological, doesn't that complicate exclusivist claims? Just like that, the wave function snaps into the conditional covenantal state. The pivot shifts. DNA isn't what matters. Covenant identity belongs to the covenant people. The result? Intellectual hopscotch. When conduct is criticized, appeal to blood. When blood becomes complicated, appeal to faith. The issue isn't whether theology can contain both lineage and faith. It can. The issue is whether the operative standard for the land promise remains consistent throughout the argument. You cannot invoke unconditional biological entitlement when convenient, then retreat into theological exclusivity when biology becomes complicated. That is the superposition